Hey guys, what's up? And welcome back to another episode of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Last we left off, we had just faced the god Surt and slay him where he stood, sending him back to the depths of wherever they come from. I don't really know. I'm not really certain. I assume we just keep going straight. I really don't know. Because there should be a door. Yeah. Okay. The bridge that was now shut is now
saw a deep connection
open.
form between the Northmen and the darkness. His tales of hell were true. Then that was the source of it. She learned everything she could from him. Until she too could see what he saw.
Surely a fight is going to happen between here and there. One would assume. It could be wrong. Our initial thought of the area seemed to be right. That I say seemed to be it was right that this was going to be way more action-oriented of a location than the first. You know, the first one, the Valraven, was very illusion and puzzle-based, and this one was far more fighting and action-based.
An illusion of self is shattered.
It still had, you know, the
Simply ceased to be.
symbol puzzles to go with it, but I mean,
Though it may not seem that
I don't even know if you really want to call those
You know when it is
puzzles. More of just a
You can feel it. A stranger. in your
game
own
mechanic
body.
that is not straightforward, but it's still pretty straightforward to
Nothing
me.
is the same
I don't
ever
think
again.
anyone would have too much trouble with it.
Senua has died before, and she will do so again. You can be sure of that.
Huh. Well, that was an interesting tad bit of information. I probably should have been paying closer attention to the rest of that dialogue.
And the mark of Surt. You may cross the bridge over the River of Knives to Helheim.
The one time I decide to talk over the dialogue, you know, is okay. So I have died before. I don't know if that is supposed to be literally story based, as in like Senua has faced death before, or if it was presuming that the player has died by this point, yet continues to repeat its story. I can't really tell yet which one it was going for there.
Why is she waiting? Open the gate. Open the gate. Don't. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Don't open the gate. Don't. She's done it. It's so dark. It's dark. The dark. Only the dead may cross. Only the dead may cross into hell.
It's a rather spooky environment here.
Truth? Anyone?
There is no one here but me.
Well, that was not the voice I was expecting.
Did you think that I would let you go? That you lost me back in the wilds? I will never let you go. You can't get rid of me. I am your shadow. And I will be watching when you draw your last dying gasp.
I'm not ready to die.
You will be when you see what they did to your dear beloved.
Oh boy.
Damien!
Oh no.
In this waking nightmare, where all dreams come true, you searched for control, a way to pull through. When you were in love, you left him in tears, to to smother your furies and banish your fears. But in darkness they came. Through stormy black seas they raided these shores. Do you still hear his screams? And now that you're home, he's so far away. They've taken his soul. To these gods you cannot pray. They can break you, but not your promise. Even death won't keep you apart. Through his darkness you will find him. In your sword still beats a heart.
This music is beautiful.
You fought for love unspoilt by your darkness within. You fought for your dreams. Now there's no way to win. In the head of his corpse lies the seat of his soul. So you must carry his vessel to bring him back home.
No!
They can break you, but not your promise. Even death won't keep you apart. Through this darkness you will find him. In your sword still beats a heart.
Trying not to talk too much until it's seemingly over. This
The
might be a
darkness touched you.
long cutscene here.
Everyone could see it in the hollows of your eyes. A gaze averted from life. You ran from it but brought it nearer. Led it to him. An endless suffering, worse than death. And you wanted to surrender. Abandon and to find peace with the gods. No. The darkness won't allow it. So you will walk into the lair of the beast. Look it in the eye, and you will go to war. This is your mission. This is your quest. There is nothing else left.
Okay, so we're back to pretty much the beginning of the game, which is what we thought was going to be. We knew we had to get here. Obviously had to take an incredibly long route to get there. Surely there's going to be something in between here and there. Yep. Shocker.
The gods made you a warrior for a reason. It's your calling. When there is a new road ahead, the only one that makes any sense. Jazz!
Okay. So, very similar to, I know I've said it in multiple episodes now, but it's very similar to the way the Souls games are designed combat-wise, has bled over into this one in the fact of, not necessarily how the combat works, but that you know, I can't show you because it limits you to combat only when it's necessary, but you have a light attack, a heavy attack, a kick, and a parry. And obviously light and heavy just goes back and forth depending on speed and how strong you want the attack to be. But literally, the guys with the shield, you can't really hit them more than once ever unless you break their guard, but the only way to do that is to kick them. So you literally are having to change your combat sequence depending on the enemy, which is exactly how Souls games work. They design it to where you can't just button smash every enemy the same way. You have to approach it differently, which is a beautiful thing. I love that.
Brings another charge.
Oh, hello. That was scripted. I didn't have a... You are a large individual. And you have dreads. I respect that. But you hit me in the face. And I cannot abide by that.
She's hurt. She's injured. She won't make it.
Well, I'm trying to move. Oh. I did evade, but I landed right into it. Okay, so... Is that a death? Really? Let's see. I was pretty confident you were dead. Apparently I was wrong. Ah. So you can't parry it. There we go. So, yet again, learned something on the first guy pretty early, the big guy. So, dodging to the right, for whatever reason, seemed to not be a viable option. Like, his hit would still reach me on the backswing, which is why I died. I guess that was a death. I mean, I don't really know what else to make of that, even though I only got hit once. So it seemed a little ridiculous, but then dodging to the left was a complete different story. Like, I think I only got hit from him once after that. So sometimes you just have to pay attention and try things and see what works and what doesn't, and then apply that to the rest of the fight. It's like a dance. A fish symbol, an X.
The journey to Helheim is never a straight one. Each must find their own path. Align yourself to its secrets.
Ooh.
and you will find yours.
It's got to be the X right there. Okay. I'm gonna take a guess and say that's somehow gonna make this symbol too. Can I get there from here? No. Guessing I have to go through here. There's a door to the left, which will presumably be open from the other side somehow.
However you come to the gold-covered bridge that leads to hell, you may find it guarded by a giantess. She will ask your name. She will ask your lineage. She will ask your business. The Northmen tell of the warrior woman Brynhild, who leapt into fire and rode to hell to join her slain love Sigurd, and is challenged by the giantess.
Okay. Making sure to hear all the story before I walk too far away from it. Huh. I was almost certain there was going to be a... Wait, what? There's a new mechanic. So we literally just created a stairwell out of nothing. Like, I mean, okay. That's similar to how the Valravan stuff was happening, but that was an illusion going through portals of sorts. Alright. Oh. It's getting close. So it's gonna be... Yep, that's gotta be. Okay, one more. The upward facing fish symbol, if you will. Two paths. Great. Almost three. It goes nowhere. We've had to go up through the rest of them, so I'm going to guess and say that this opens the door? If not, I'm going to be confused of where this is going. Yes, this is literally the door.
Hela possesses large dwelling places in Helheim. Tall are her walls, high are her gates. The name of her dish is hunger. Her knife is famine. On her threshold all will stumble. Her bed is called sick bed, and her bed hangings are called flames of a funeral pyre. They say she is easy to recognize, half black and half the color of flesh, and her face menacing and grim.
If I were a betting man, I would say the symbol is near. Oh, staring right at it. Okay. That's literally all that's up here, so I guess we go back down. This is such a interesting atmosphere of a game that I know I said it in earlier episodes, but I'm going to say it again just to reiterate the point because it's that important. If you are going to play or legitimately watch a Let's Play of this game, do it with headphones. Because even if you're not playing it, if you're just watching it, you'll still experience the surround sound nature of how everything is working and the constant voices and sounds that keep happening and that they're just all over the place and they're bouncing around your head like madness. It's really cool. This seems precarious. I don't know a lot about game design, but broken bridge over water during a storm, not the best of signs. Please don't fall. Just run. Oh.
The gate. It's opening.
Source of dark. Oh, great.
Who is it?
It's coming.
That song again.
Is it?
It's Hella.
Yes, the source of the darkness. It's coming. This is your moment.
Oh my.
I'm sorry.
That's not creepy at all.
I can't watch this.
Surely that's not what they're making out to be. Hell,
You're
that'd be
showing weakness.
a very interesting adaptation.
You're not a warrior. You're a disgrace. The gods will punish you for this. Pick up the sword. Pick it up. Fight the darkness. Fight it. Get up. Get up. Get up and fight.
Okay.
Stormy seas and lost souls. She's dreamt of this before. They say dreams are visions of our memories, thoughts, and fears, as seen by our inner eye. But what if each one of us is always dreaming, even when awake, and we only see what our inner eye creates for us? Is this what hell is? A world shaped by Senua's nightmares. Maybe that's why people feared seeing the world through her eyes. Because if you believe that Senua's reality is twisted, you must accept that yours might be too.
You failed the gods. You're pathetic. Rotten. Cursed. What were you thinking? Did you really think you could win? How stupid can you be?
So stupid.
Everyone hates her. She's cursed.
The shadow hates.
Look at you. A warrior. Worthless. Weak. Pathetic. Go on. Feel sorry for yourself, because there is no one left to do that for you.
Everywhere. What's that?
Take it. If you're too much of a coward to fight, then end the suffering. Broken and lost. Just like your sword.
Come on. Dare.
Why go on when you give everything and face that which torments you, only to find that it is worse than you could have imagined? Why go on? Is it really so weak to ask this? Or are we just so afraid of the honest answer that we do not dare pose the question? Sometimes the answer lies in a memory, a feeling, a song.
It's not real.
It's a trick. It's not real. Listen to it.
Don't give up.
Dillian. It's
Not like this.
It's not real. It is real. It's a trick. Don't trust it. Maybe you're already dead.
Who are you?
Do you still believe in me, Shannon?
No,
Come to me. Please.
The light. Go towards the light. It's him. There he is. It can't be him. It's just a trick. It's in your mind.
No, he's here.
It's in your mind.
It's real. It's happening.
Go towards it.
So we've gone from heavy puzzle / illusion based to combat action based, and those are going to be interchangeable because they let you go through either door whenever you want. And now it's sort of changed the dynamic to heavy cinematic or story. I mean, it's been that throughout, but we haven't really done anything save for a few combat sequences here and there, kind of just intermingled in between them. But we're starting to get really heavy cutscenes and dialogue here.
There it is. It's Dillian. He's coming.
And it's not really letting me run right now. Like, this is as fast as my character can go.
Keep going. Ignore the pain. I told you it was to trick you. We told you. Where are you going? There's nothing to follow. Come.
I don't know if I need to be running because she keeps acting like it's really bothering her. I don't know if that's scripted or literally a problem.
Before she first met him, she was not in a good place. Just a teenager, but not like the others. Barely functioning, she rarely left the house. Her father's in-bell made sure of that. Only occasionally did she venture out on her own, collecting firewood and herbs, errands out in the Orkney Plains. That was her world. Like this one. Barren and lonely.
Yeah, we're really honing in on the backstory dialogue here.
It's already disappeared.
Nothing lives here, not even you. It's in your mind. You think you can see it, but it's in your mind.
I love the background music throughout the entirety of
There he
everything we've
was.
done past Cert.
The lone figure of a boy.
He's there. Under the tree.
Sword play under the shade of a tree. She remembers the first time she saw him. To her young eyes,
Under the tree.
he moved as if dancing, and the world danced with him. The gloom lifted, and for the first time in years, she felt a ray of hope.
The Northmen tell of a great hero. His name is Sigmund. His father's hall was built around a great tree.
I don't guess I can
and one
get up
day,
here yet.
Odin comes and thrusts a sword into the tree, a gift to whomever can release it. Many try, but the sword only comes out at Sigmund's touch. His brother-in-law, King Siggeir, wants it, but Sigmund refuses it. So King Siggeir plots revenge. He invites Sigmund and his brothers to a feast, but when they arrive, they are met with an army, not a warm welcome. King Siggeir captures Sigmund and his brothers, steals his coveted sword, and readies them for execution.
Not sure what the importance of that story was. Ooh. So can I go up here? Yes, I can. Intriguing. I didn't think there was a way up here first, but clearly there is. What is this then? No. Okay, so we just introduce a locked door without explanation. Even though it seemed like it was going to work like the past 30 doors that we've gone through, however many. I know there's not 30, it was a hyperbole, but a bit odd. Okay. So that is a good sign, if any, though, if nothing else, for the fact that we know that there is more game to be had. Can't unlock it now, which means we're going to have to unlock it later. I think that just goes to the same place. There's just a ladder that goes up there. Yeah. Interesting. This is probably the longest time that I can recall without hearing a bunch of voices. As far as a gap.
Day after day,
There we go.
watching from afar, she mimicked him, perfecting her own secret dance, wishing those fleeting moments of light would stretch out to last forever.
Death for Sigmund and his brothers seems certain. But the king's wife is Sigmund's sister, and she begs for mercy and implores the king to chain them up instead. He agrees. Not for mercy, though, but because he plans an even more cruel and lingering death. Chained to a tree in the forest that night, a she-wolf comes and devours one of Sigmund's brothers. She returns, ravenous, night after night, until only Sigmund is left. The next day, Sigmund's sister sends a servant with honey to smear on Sigmund's face. But to what end? Well, that night, when the she-wolf appears again, you'll never guess what happens.
Okay. It's weird that some of those tie in to what is happening, and some of them are just literally
It's not real.
stories of Norse mythology. Oh, that's bright. Oh, hello.
You're deluded. Where are you going? Where is she going?
This is a cutscene. I'm not controlling anything
What is
anymore.
she following? You can't even fight. It's just
Yeah, now I'm back in
How does
control.
he so effortlessly court the world and bliss? If only she could do the same. See the world through eyes anew and dance with it,
Just suddenly
just
happy.
like he does.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive this is going to turn south really fast. No longer in control again.
What's your name?
Senwa,
I haven't seen you before.
I don't leave home much.
Oh, Zeno's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait. Who taught you to fight like that?
No one.
No one.
Well, I watched you, and
You learnt all of that from watching me? You should become a warrior, you know.
me?
I'm Dillian. I'm here for the warrior trials. Just come and watch. And bring your sword.
You can't put it into words. That moment. When you look into the eyes of the one who's supposed to reassure you, make you feel safe. It only takes an instant. Fear swallows you before you have a chance to make sense of it. And darkness becomes a part of who you are. But her world changed the day the Northmen took him from her. Senua knows that there's no going back to how things were. That there's nothing to go back to at all.
Stay still, stay quiet, hide, don't tell her.
Their gods can see into your mind. They will use this power to destroy you.
They won't stop me. I can still feel it.
Whatever's left of him, they will never let him go.
I'm not gonna let him rot here.
You're the one rotting here.
Leave me alone.
You will die here.
No.
And all your suffering will have been for nothing.
Shut up! Dillion? Is that you? I'll find you, my love. I promise.
So again, very cinematic now.
Alone in these mountains. Is that Dillion? Nothing lives
Throwing
here.
so much story at us now.
You won't survive.
To where at first we were just doing small
You met him
portions,
by
now
the
we're
tree.
kind of
She met him by the tree. Maybe it's a sign, the tree. What's he
doesn't
trying
have
to
a
tell
thing on
you?
it. It's weird.
He's waiting for you by the tree.
Can I even get to this one?
As the she-wolf licks the sweet honey from Sigmund's face, he bites the wolf's tongue. The she-wolf pulls away, but Sigmund holds on. The chains break, and he is free. After his escape, Sigmund lives like us, hidden in the forest. His enemy, King Siggeir, believing him dead, as his sister plots revenge. And for vengeance to succeed, even the great Sigmund needs help. So she sends her sons to him. But their blood is weak and corrupted, and they're put to death by Sigmund. So his sister hatches a new plan, one that is cold of heart and pure of blood.
Okay. Very interesting that they're giving this story in fragments. I don't know if it has any pertinence to what's happening here.
Sigmund's sister trades shapes with a sorceress, and in disguise, she lies with her own brother.
Gross.
She gives birth to a son named Sinfjotli. After a time, she sends him to the forest to Sigmund. He tests the boy and finds him strong and fearless, and so they go to take their vengeance on King Siggeir. But luck is not on their side. They're captured, and Siggeir has them buried alive.
Well, that story just got odd, fast, as if it wasn't already odd to begin with. She really wanted that revenge, so she resorted to incest. You know, I mean, as one does when thirsting for revenge. Okay. This doesn't seem like something I should be touching. So I'm gonna touch it.
Take it. A sword.
Oh, it's a sword.
Dillion left it for you. Take it. Take it. Take it. It's a tree. It's ending. It's coming from there and there. What are they? Look. Where's it coming from? She
happening?
Senua, imagine a sword that can slay gods.
True?
Its name is Gramr. It was forged by the god of all Northmen, Odin, and gifted to Sigmund, a great warrior.
I need this sword. It's important. Can you help me?
The sword appears whole, but it is an illusion. It shattered into shards long ago. It is said a great warrior can reforge Gramr by answering the trials of Odin, one for each shard. The roots of the Tree of Death will take you to new lands where you will face the trials.
Go to the shards. Go to the shard.
Go to the shards.
What's the shard? Find it.
It's the metal runestones.
Those things are glowing now.
Find it.
The roots
The roots.
literally point towards
You
them.
need that
Okay.
sword. Go to the
There's
shard.
one there.
Shards.
2, 3. So at least 3, 4. 2 over here, 2 over there. Minimum, if there's not more back here. Great. Typical video game fashion. Yes, you can do what's right in front of you, but first, here's 30 different small tasks to do to unlock this one task. Of course. How could I have forgotten? Alright, well, that was a heavy dialogue episode. That's pretty much all that was, save for a few combat sequences. But that's going to wrap this episode up, so we're going to go ahead and end that here. And, man, we're getting into the story pretty good here. In the next episode, we'll start tackling these shards and see where it takes us from there. So, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next episode.